Hello everyone, I'm in Chirk Castle in North Wales. I've been here for another video that I've been doing on another channel about the aqueduct nearby. So I thought I would take you for a walk through here quickly, and then we'll go for a wander and have a chat, because it's nice to get out and about, and because I'm doing the aqueduct and this is local, then it's nice to introduce you to the world relatively local to me, I guess. It's quite a drive. I mean, it's about 45 minutes drive, so it's not actually local. Even so, it's pretty. I don't think it's open yet, but I'll have a look. Wisteria growing up the walls. The stocks. And then I think you pay to go inside and in the gardens. And I'll be going on a garden walk soon because I'm sorting out my garden, so I want some good ideas. So anyway, not to be someone to put a downer on beauty or bring a downer to it, as the case may be, but I thought about how we're kind of, and it's very hard to think about this stuff when you're surrounded by such pleasant things. So my head is going to be all over the place as I talk about it, but I wanted to talk about the idea of chaos, order out of chaos. But the way I see it, the chaos is demanded, and it's demanded by the mob. And then once the chaos has been demanded by the mob, then the order becomes very strict, which creates restraints and subjects people to more chaos. Because as I was saying in the Human Rights Act video, political correctness isn't having necessarily the desired effect, and that's why so many people are wishing to abandon the idea, because it's causing serious mental and psychological harm to people. We're being told that this is good for society and it doesn't exclude anyone, everyone's included then. But actually, in order to have an inclusive society, you always need a bogeyman. You always need that person who has been, that the protectors need to protect you from. And so you need to exclude in order to become at union or united with each other. And with that in mind, look at these meadows. Aren't they pretty? And so with that in mind, it's absolutely essential that you exclude certain groups of people from the society so that you can point at them, and also it's incredibly useful if you can prevent them from speaking and presenting arguments, because by doing so they are always going to be hello, oh, don't be scared of me. Oh, I heard one of you grunt then. Not happy, huh? Okay, I'm harmless. They don't care. They just want to eat the grass. Yes, I hear you breathing heavy. Yes, they're all doing it. Can you hear them? Their little threatening grunts. A warning sign. Anyway, before the rude cows, where was I? I think I was talking about how they need to have the bogeyman so as to ensure unity. And that's absolutely necessary. They do need to exclude people. But I think their fear is that if they exclude people... Ugh, that was disgusting. That was so disgusting. Just had this fluid just flick out of his nostrils. Hello? You look like you're chewing gum. That's how kids used to chew their gum in school. Yeah, it is. Okay. Grunting again. You're coming to say hi, huh? You want to say hi? Oh, you're itching your head. You've probably got flies all over you. Yeah, so the concern I suspect that they have is if the arguments can be made, or I think also it's going to be trauma which switches people, that makes them break free of their mind control, because I'll tell you something, I was deeply into all that propaganda. I mean, I was really deep into it. Don't know if you can see, but one of those pheasants in the background walked straight in front of my car earlier. Anyway, getting off track again. So, yeah, I think that mind control and propaganda, I think mind control is very much a real thing. I know that we hear that it's all conspiracies and all of that kind of stuff. It's not. It's absolutely real, because that's what propaganda is. It's mind control, and it's intended to control your behaviours. But once they've been traumatised, having trusted it for so long, it could be the case that they're unable to protect their lie anymore. They don't have the bogeyman anymore, because suddenly people are saying, okay, those people who warned us, no matter how extreme their views were, they weren't dishonest in the same way that perhaps the mainstream narrative is, and the propaganda. And right, I'm going to go back. And I do expect that that's going to see them start to crash and burn, but I don't see that happening for a few generations, really. I think this generation, the one after the millennials, has become more conservative in their views. They're more open to homosexuality and BAME and all of that, and that's because they've attended school, and kids are being gay earlier now, younger, and are claiming that they're gay at an earlier age, whereas that never happened in my day. And whereas there was about 3 kids in my school, in my secondary school, who were BAME, most were white. And I know that in schools these days they have lots and lots of school friends who are certainly they were breaking. They have lots of school friends who are actually BAME and whatnot. So it seems to me that that generation is already more conservative, and they're more open to homosexuality, but they also are aware of the propaganda, and the strong propaganda. And it really is strong propaganda, and they can absolutely tell. And I know that this is happening because my son's in school, and they receive a lot of propaganda from their teachers, and the teachers have to provide that narrative in order to get their funding, But the children are, are questioning it way more, because they're not, and especially the boys, because the boys are not watching TV like the girls were or are. I was watching a lot of TV, and there were all these articles about how it could be harmful, and I see now that it was, and how it was, but boys aren't watching that propaganda, and also they are watching a massive amount of YouTube, and there are YouTubers who do all this sort of trans stuff and have a lot of followers, maybe because of it, or maybe they're being deliberately pushed. I don't know what their subscriber count compared to views is, so I don't know how genuine their viewership is. But the children who I know, the kids that I know, they are not watching TV, and they are obviously watching conspiracy theorist stuff, because some of the things I hear are the things that I was learning about 8 years ago. So they're becoming very on the ball, and then there's the ones who only watch TV. So there is a big separation going on within the schools, and these aren't popular kids versus geeks. It's very different. It's like the propagandized kids versus those who are rejecting that, the rejectors, I suppose. And I expect that they will tell their kids about the propaganda, and so it will all work out in the end, and hopefully within my lifetime. But I don't see these massive changes happening suddenly at all now. I think, and also the other thing is, what I noticed with a lot of people who popped up for COVID and lockdown and what have you, they very much disregard the things that perhaps Katie Hopkins is saying, or anyone who's a little bit on the edge with regards to immigration and things like that. They really, I noticed that through COVID and lockdown, all these very diverse doctors and all sorts of people just sort of boomed into the limelight, which made me very sceptical. Now, shall I go through the field? I'll go this way. It made me very sceptical, even more sceptical of alternative media, because they were suddenly getting 100,000 subscribers, which is probably because their editing is good, their video making is good. But then they were also having this impact on saying about, probably like people like myself are still Nazis and racists and fascists. So I did have some hope then, but that's cooled off a lot now. I don't actually have that same hope anymore. And I do think that it's going to take more and more traumas. And it's funny because my son, when he was in primary school, they absolutely traumatised him with this cartoon about germs. and he was frightened that he was going to die, like imminently, because of germs, because the cartoon was so frightening to him. And I mean, that was probably nursery or reception, so he was 3 or 4, but he was so traumatized by that. And I said, oh, don't worry about that. When I was a kid, they told me that acid rain was going to pour on top of our skin and we were going to have bones and no flesh. And then they also told us about the ozone layer, which was going to melt us. And then global warming. Now it's climate change. And I said, they just need to keep you in fear. So don't worry about a thing. And that's how he's sort of lived his life now. And that's really good. And there will be children who are frightened by that kind of propaganda. But I don't know. Maybe they will be, maybe they won't be. But yeah, I think I will go through the gardens if I can get in. So, we'll do another video, having a look through the gardens, and I'll talk to you about what I'm doing, which is guerrilla gardening. I'll talk about that in the next video, so please like, subscribe, share, comment. Thank you. Bye.